So our friendship has lasted throughout our childhood, youth, and marriage years. That, by the special grace of God, our children, Tonia and Clinton, will cement firmly.
Amen.
To our hurt, that of our children, and that of our potential grandchildren. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Steve-O, honestly, I cannot wait to be your in-law.
We can't wait.
Sorry, my dear. We cannot wait to be your in-law. We can't wait to be your in-law. You know, aside the fact that you are Tonia's parents, we would have said that we are happier than you for this academic success of ours. Don't you agree, my dear?
Of course I do. As a matter of fact, Tonia is our daughter as well. Aside her biological home, this house is the next place she could confidently and boldly call home.
Yes, and she will be right to do so. Steve-O, on a more serious note, I think the time is right for us to commence the marriage rites for Tonia. Because in 11 months' time, Clinton will become Oxford University trained medical consultant.
Frank, as much as I wish that my daughter get married to your son Clinton, because I know that this is the only home she will be truly loved and accepted. But my wife and I don't think we need to rush things. You see, Tonia has been out of the country for the past 13 years studying in America. If she gets any impression that we are imposing Clinton on her, she may resist it.
Would she? But Clinton had been her childhood friend even before she left the country for the US.
Oh, you are correct, Agnes. That was in their early years. Don't forget that marriage is more serious thing than childhood friendship.
Yes, you're quite right, Steve-O, you're right. Now this is very, very serious. We have to handle it delicately with utmost diplomacy. What I think we should do is to try and bring them closer and closer until by the special grace of God, they fall in love.
Yes. And Frank, we can't do that while they are staying overseas. You see, I have this plan that after the election, I'm going to bring Tonia back home to take charge of my business empire while I run the state as the governor.
Your Excellency!
And I suggest that you two should try and bring Clinton back home too, so that we can watch both of them fall in love and fulfill our desire for them.
Whatever happens, Tonia and Clinton are going to get married. And nothing is going to stop us from becoming the in-laws of the incoming governor, executive governor of our state. His Excellency. Your Excellency.
You sent for me, sir. I'm here, Chief.
Now, Monica, tell me the truth. If you are the owner of this company and you see yourself in this great financial situation, what will you do?
I would do anything possible to get my business back on track, sir.
You were the one that prepared the statement of account that I just went through, right?
Yes, sir. I mean, did I make any mistake?
Oh, not really, Monica. You see, from the account that you prepared, it shows that we lost over 1 billion naira sponsoring my governorship election, which I lost, though. Which means that 80% of the operating capital of this company is gone. With such a big loss, I've lost the will to continue.
You mean you want to shut down the company, Chief?
Before it collapses on all of us.
I really don't know what to say, sir. But I beg you to think about the more than 200 people in your payroll before doing any such thing.
Look, Monica, that I lost the governorship election is not why I am so much depressed. But the thought of you and your colleagues. Monica, if miracle does not happen within the next 1 month, I don't know what to do because I've lost the ideas on how to salvage the fortune of this company. Well, if this doesn't work well soonest, I will have no option but to join my daughter with my wife in America if I must live through this year.
But sir...
Monica, you can go.
I don't mean to scare you, GM. But the situation itself is scary. He sounded so hopeless. That was why I invited you to my house to talk about it.
Whoever convinced Chief to go into partisan politics has ruined him completely.
I don't know what you make of his confiding in me today. But I left his office feeling that he was crying out for help. Jesus. Our help.
What do we do for him, Monica? What?
You know, even before he said it today, you and I knew that Chief lost the will to do anything else the very day he lost that election. Now, why is he giving the company 1 more month before shutting it down? Why did he confide in me today? GM, the answer is he believes that I can rally other members of staff to do something to save his life's sweat.
I think you're right, Monica. But I also think it will not be the best of ideas if we let other staff members know about this. You know he has his pride to protect. So if this thing leaks, it will hurt him badly. I would advise we sleep over this, so that by tomorrow we'll come out with a better idea. What do you think?
You're right. You're right.
Chief Udenze, I must apologize once again for talking you into partisan politics and for the losses you incurred in the election. I understand your business was adversely affected as a result, but I seriously don't believe that shutting down your entire business operations and moving to America is the best way out of the quagmire.
And who told you about that?
Your general manager and the accountant.
Oh, how dare the idiots! How dare them!
Chief, I apologize on their behalf, but they meant no harm. They were only trying to help.
Oh, trying to help by telling everyone that I want nothing anymore, by celebrating my downfall in this insulting manner, eh?
Chief, they told no other person but me. When they came to me begging me to do something to save your business, we all agreed that no other person should be brought into the picture. Chief, remember, I am not just a friend. I was also your running mate in the election. And I lost money too.
I understand. I'm very sorry for my outburst. You see, I'm no more the chief you know. I am a complete wreck now.
God forbid. Chief Udenze, I say God forbid. Ha. Well, even before they came to me last week, I had already made some moves to ensure that we recover some of the monies we lost in the election. This afternoon, I met the governor and chief. It turned out to be a mere coincidence.
How do you mean?
The governor was already planning to compensate for our losses in the election in appreciation of our resolve not to challenge his election in the court, as others did.
Come on, Chief Osando, please. If that is trying to give us the people's money in any way, please count me out of it. Count me out completely, please.
Far from it. Far from it. The governor has offered us something.
Wasn't it?
A 3.5 billion naira road construction contract.
You must be joking, Chief Osando.
It is for both of us, and the governor says that he's expecting a reply within 10 days.
Jesus Christ. How dare you? No, both of you. How dare you make mockery of my present financial situation by broadcasting to everybody? Tell me why I shouldn't sack the both of you.
I'm sorry, sir.
You better be.
Apart from Chief Osando and the both of us, no one else is aware of your situation, sir.
She's correct, sir. We agreed to keep it strictly so. Going to Chief Osando was my idea, not hers. However, we're sorry, sir. Deeply sorry.
It's not my fault, sir. After all, it was me you confided in. I feel so ashamed to have betrayed you like this. I can resign now if you want me to, sir.
You are going nowhere.
Thank you, sir.
Now both of you sit down. Chief Osando brought this to my house yesterday. It's a business proposal from the state government. As you both know, I'm not in the best frame of mind to think or discuss business right now. So, both of you should go and study it and see if the offer is something we can accept or not. Okay?
Okay, sir.
So, you can go and please report back in the next 2 days.
right, sir. Hi, Miss Monica.
Hi.
Have you finished going through the file?
Yeah, I did that last night.
So what's your take on it?
It is a very lucrative proposal. But one I'm afraid we cannot accept in the company's present financial situation. You see, the government made it very clear that it's not going to pay us a dime until the whole contract is fully executed. And the co-owner of the contracts, Chief Osando, said he's not in a position to make any financial inputs into the execution of the job.
Don't you think the bank will be willing to give us loan facilities to do the job?
GM, we are talking about a 3.5 billion naira contract. The money involved is such that Chief can only get from a bank by using everything that is left of his assets as collateral. Is that a good risk to take with the sitting government in this country?
I don't think so. I came to the same conclusion as you did. You see, if Chief must go down, let him do it. A honorable man, and not as an indebted and disgraced man. I think would advise him to reject the contract.
That would mean giving him no other option than to shut the company down and travel abroad. You know what that means for us and our colleagues.
And doing otherwise might end up being postponing the doomsday. Miss Monica, we can't accept that contract as it is.
Yes. Sit down. All right. Yes. Precisely the contract the government is proposing to your boss. I'm sure you're aware that 20% of whatever profit that comes to the company belongs to me according to the agreement. Raymond, that contract was purposely inflated so that your boss can make over 1 billion naira at the end. We are talking of over 200 million naira for me. Ramon, I need that money, and I need it badly.
Chief, why are you telling me all this?
Yes. Chief Udense told me earlier on that if you and Monica consider the offer good, he will accept it. If not, he will reject it. And Raymond, if he rejects it, I'll be losing a lot. In the first place, I am not a registered government contractor. And secondly, I don't have the financial muscle to execute that business. I lost a lot of money in that election too.
Chief.
Yes.
Monica and I have agreed to advise my boss to reject it because the terms of the contract put it beyond our financial means to execute. Our hands are tied, I'm sorry.
Raymond, what if I offer you the sum of 5 million naira to convince your boss to the contrary?
Chief, You're offering me the sum of 5 million naira to convince my boss?
Yes.
Are you pulling my legs?
I am not a joker and will never be one.
I will issue you a post-dated check for the sum of 5 million naira, here and now, if that is the way you want it.
I'm sure you studied it thoroughly. So, what are your suggestions?
We consider it a good deal, Chief. You can go ahead and accept it.
GM, we agree that it's too risky to be a viable survival option for the company.
We only expressed our doubts about some aspect of the contract. I agreed to make further inquiries before arriving at a decision. That I have done.
And without discussing your findings with her before coming to brief me?
I'm sorry, Chief. There was no time for that. The information that convinced me just came in 10 minutes ago.
I don't know what your information is, but I strongly don't believe that taking the contract the way it is would be to the best interest of the company. Chief, accepting it the way it is would mean raising a bank loan to execute it. And judging by the volume of the contracts, you can only raise such loan by using everything that is remaining of your assets as collateral. Is that a risk you are ready to take, Chief? What if the government defaults in payments and the loan's timeline elapses? Would you be ready to face the consequences that is sure to follow, Chief?
There will be no such thing, Chief. Look, the governor's chief of staff was my classmate in our school days. And he just assured me that the government will be ready to enter into a bank-to-bank agreement with their bank. What that means is that once the government certifies the contract done, their bank will pay into our bank within 10 working days, with or without their consent.
And you believe him that such is possible with a sitting government in this country? You believe deep down in your heart that we won't end up in court with such agreements? GM!
Do you have any reason why I shouldn't have believed in Monica?
Chief,
It's okay, Monica. Excuse me. Yeah, hello, Chief Osando. Yes. Please arrange for a meeting with His Excellency. I have accepted the contract. Alright, thank you.
Chief! You?
You can now go to your offices. Thank you very much for your suggestions. It is noted. Monica, I know you're not too happy because I ignored your opinion last week to accept the contract. I understand your fear. They are real. Well, even after hearing exactly what Raymond told me from the governor himself, I am still not convinced.
Actually, Chief, I hold no ill feelings against anybody for what happened. You are not under any obligation to always accept my opinion on every issue.
Yeah, I know. I'm still in control. But Monica, I don't believe I still have the mental ability to run the affairs of this company day to day. So I decided to ask my daughter to come back from America to take charge.
Is that a good decision at this critical point in the life of the company, Chief? Tonia is a pharmacist and not a trained business administrator, sir.
You could be correct there. But my wife thinks the idea is great. Monica, among all my staff, you are the most intelligent, most dedicated, and most trustworthy. So I will want you to work with my daughter when she comes back. And I will please beg you to please teach her everything she needs to learn to succeed. Can I have a take on you on that?
Yes, Chief.
Very good. Very, very good. And now, you and not Mr. Raymond takes charge of all negotiations concerning the contract. Okay?
Won't Mr. Raymond say it?
Oh, come on, Monica. I am still the chief executive officer of this company and not Raymond.
I'm sorry, Chief.
Better.
Ramon, that's a check for the 5 million naira I promised you. That's for a job well done.
Thank you very much, Chief.
You're welcome. Aha. Ramon, did you perchance have any problem with your boss recently?
No, Chief. And why do you ask?
I was wondering why Monica should be the only person in charge of the negotiation in respect of that contract and not you.
Honestly, Chief, I have asked my boss about that several times recently without getting any satisfactory answer, and it worries me.
I am worried too. But Raymond, there is something I don't quite cherish about that Monica Fair girl. She's too smart. She asks too many questions. And Chief Udeze seems to be in agreement with whatever suggestion she gives. I don't trust her, Raymond. And that unfortunately includes your boss.
Despite everything, Chief, my boss is a man of his words. Absolutely trustworthy.
That's it. Did I hear you say trustworthy?
Change is the only thing that is permanent in this world. He must have changed. And more importantly, I suspect your boss is trying to double cross me in that contract business. The signs of what I'm saying are everywhere. He thinks he doesn't need you anymore. So be careful. And I want you to help me to stop him.
I repeat, Chief, my boss is trustworthy.
Ramon, I want to do business with you. And that business will make you richer by more than 500 million within 10 months. And that business concerns this contract.
500 million naira?
Yes, you heard me well.
You're joking, Chief, ain't you?
That check you have in your hand does not suggest that I am a joker, or does it? The prospect of success of this business is 99%. But once you get into this business, there is no backing out. Ramon, are you in?
I need more details, Chief.
Your consent first. Are you in, Raymond? 500 million. That's my boy. Let's have some drinks.
Chief, I'm sticking out my neck, my honor, my 22 years banking career, just to oblige you this loan. The directors made it abundantly clear that I'm not convinced it's a good deal. I insisted because of the many years successful business relationship I have had with you. Please don't disappoint me.
Oh, come off it, manager. In fact, this deal is going to elevate you. It can never pull you down. And yet there is more to it. I'm using everything that I have. Everything that I have saved as a man, including my houses, my cars, everything that I have as collateral for this loan. So disappointing you is not an option for me. Not at all.
Well, it's a $13.5 million loan. And you already know the terms.
Yes, I know.
If you accept, you sign here, here, and here. And hand over all the necessary documents you are using as a collateral to me.
Thank you. Manager, This represents all that I have, all that I have labored for. Please keep them safe for me.
I promise you, they will sail with us.
Please, I want the money in my office cash on Wednesday.
Consider it done, Chief.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Chief Osando.
Yeah, Chief
I was just about calling you. You're welcome.
Yes, sir, thank you. You know, I'm always in the right place and at the right time.
Oh, sure you are. My bank just delivered the money. So please, can you call the regional manager of Julius Berger so that we can ship the money to him?
That's my reason for coming, Chief. The man called to say that he's traveling to Abuja on a very important business trip and will be coming back tomorrow. You know, by the nature of the business we have with him, I don't advise that he have to contract the business with any other person except him. So
have you forgotten the amount of money that is involved? Chief Osando, we are talking about $13.5 million. I mean, where do you expect me to keep such huge amount of money till tomorrow, knowing that the banking hours is over?
Chief, I don't like the Julius Berger deal as much as you don't. But this is a business we cannot dispense with. If we are going to beat the government deadline of completing the road construction work. And remember, this is the only company that can supply the right material and on time too.
Yes, I know. But why won't the manager allow us to pay the money into the company's account?
Chief Udenze, you know as well as I do that this business is not official. We are getting everything we want at $13.5 million simply because we are dealing with him as an individual. Make it official, we shall be talking about $20 million. Are you ready to pay $20 million?
Chief Osando, the big question now is, where do I keep this money till tomorrow? Surely not in this office.
Of course. I will not advise you to keep the money any other place except in your bedroom, in your house. Not to worry. It is only one night, Chief.
Monica, Tonia called to say that she's coming back to the country tonight.
Wow, that's great, sir. I'm very happy.
Thank you very much. Monica, take this file home after work.
Okay.
Study it thoroughly. It contains all the documents pertaining to our current contract with the government, even the loan we secured from the bank to execute it. Please, I want you to study it in between the lines because you and Tonia will be in charge when she comes back.
Okay, Chief. I'll do just that, sir.
One more thing, Monica. The contents of this file is as important as my life to me. Even if anything happens to me now, please, I beg you in the name of God, don't give anybody this file except Tonia.
I won't forget that, sir.
Adams, yeah, please come to my office and pick the papers. You get the car ready and go over right away.
Is everything complete?
Everything there. Leave this girl. I want marry her. Make people money. After go. Come on. Go there. Come.
My guys, Chief Osando said that he will give the people the 500,000 naira will commit them to give to me once the job is done. So, where is the money?
Okay, 500,000. But you know, say night don't come. We don't feel begin day and at the same money. But what you happen? We say, hey, tomorrow in the morning.
Any problem?
Chief, here are the files. Here are my licenses.
That's very nice. That's wonderful of you. You boys will be adequately rewarded for job well. Yes?
Chief, the file is not here. The file is not
What? What's the problem, Cletus? Did I not tell you that that file is the most essential thing as far as this operation is concerned? Why did you leave it behind?
Chief, if that file is not in there, that means it was never in Chief Udenze's house. Exactly, sir, because we looked for the file everywhere in the house, sir. Everywhere we searched.
Are you sure of what you're saying?
Yes.
Not in her present state. It will not help her. You know, she is so frightened she cannot withstand anybody's presence.
Doctor, this is my elder brother's daughter we are talking about. I am her uncle.
I know. I'm not just Steve's childhood friend. You know, we've been friends all our lives. I was his personal physician, his company physician, his family physician. Oh, knew him long before he married Tonia's mother. And Tonia is not just a friend's daughter to me. She's like mine. So you see, if your going in was going to help her, we would not stand here be talking. We will be there with her. She has been getting the best treatment and will continue to get the best treatment. And I promise you that as soon as she improves, you will be the first to see her. Please, accept my deepest sympathy on the untimely death of your brother and his wife. They are wonderful people.
Doctor, Tonia don't deserve this.
No one deserves this. No one.
Happy birthday, Tonia. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, you guys, mommy. Oh, come Hey, Dad. Thank you so much. Let me help you.
Welcome, darling. Gently.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
My love, today, welcome to your first day as a legally recognized adult. Today you are 18. Happy birthday.
Thank you, mommy. Come here. Dad. This is beautiful. I did not see this coming.
My dear, you deserve the best. You see, this is just preamble for the family. By noon today, this compound will be filled with people, friends, relatives, well-wishers, everybody joining us in celebrating the most precious gift from God. That's right.
Oh gosh, you guys. Okay, all of a sudden I feel like an angel.
My dear, you are an angel.
Oh, talking about angels, is it not possible that all angels do wear?
What? This is pure gold. Oh my goodness.
That's right, my dear.
Thank you, I love it.
From those whose love for you knows no bound. Happy birthday.
All right. Time to make birthday wish.
Okay, make a wish. What do I wish for? What do I wish for? What do I wish for? I wish to have both of you by my side, enjoy and love for the rest of my life.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hooray. What a life to waste. What a love to destroy. What a joy to pollute. What an expectation to cut off. Oh God.
Oh, darling. It's okay. Just pull yourself together. Okay?
Why? Why did they do this? Why me? Why my parents? Why is there so much wickedness in this world? Why did they do this? Why? Why? Jesus Christ! What's going on here?
We are looking for some important documents belonging to Chief that might tarnish his image if the police stumble on them during the investigation.
And that justifies doing this to the office of your boss, who was murdered in cold blood last night. Why is Chief Osando here with you doing the search?
For God's sake, Monica, Raymond did not call you here this early morning for a question and answer session.
Chief, I don't know why he called me here, but our presence here is an insult to the good memory of your late friend and our boss.
You are entitled to your opinion, Monica. If you must know, your boss and I have come a long way, politically and business-wise. I am not here just only to save his name, but also to protect my political and business interests.
That doesn't sound like a compliment to the memory of such a great man as Chief Udenze. Chief Osando.
Yes.
Is there something both of you are not telling me here?
Please, sit down. Sit down. Let me explain. Sit down. You see, the sublet papers were ready for his assent this morning. Had he lived.
What are you driving at, Chief Osando?
Monica, according to the company rules, when the MD is dead and the executive director is not around, the signature of all the managers legalize all agreements between the company and other companies and even person. All of the managers have endorsed the sublet paper except you. Sign here, please.
God forbid I should be part of such an abominable thing. Tell me, why are you in such a hurry to have the sublet paper signed if you are telling me the truth?
Monica, don't make this thing difficult.
Does it not touch your conscience that Chief and Lord Odense were murdered last night and their only child raped by the same devilish killers few hours after she returned to the country?
Tonia was raped?
Raped by her parents' killers. She's now in Dr. Unka's hospital, struggling with the trauma. She is the executive director of this company, the only person that could legally sign your so-called sublet paper. Cheer. You know, we are supposed to be by her side right now, not here.
Excuse me. Tonia, sorry, please. You have an idea of where the contract file is?
Is that what you both are here searching for? Oh, I have it. And I'm taking it to Tonia. That was her father's instruction. Goodbye.
Chief.
This envelope contains her profile, her picture, her address, and what have you. Raymond called her a few minutes ago as she confirmed that she has not yet gone to the hospital because the doctor said Tonia would not like to see anybody until later in the day. And that means that she is still with the file at home. I want you to get the file and get her exterminated. She's a security risk. She knows too much. Do I need to remind you that any other silly mistake, I'll waste all of you?
Chief, I'm sorry about last time. What happened will not repeat itself.
Let it not repeat itself. Now get out!
Chief.
Chief, are you sure those boys are competent enough to do this job? Damn.
Jesus!
Quiet!
Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me.
Where is the file?
That's it on the table.
Noble, where is this girl Mogui bounce?
You say my waste. Make I just waste this fine girl like this without. Naga, you know how to do this thing.
Do you know we are under instructions?
Naga, you see, show down instructions. See, Zubi, last night, not only blew that white chicken. Who complain, Zubi, who complain? For sure. Now, this local one was saying, man, just take only one. Don't go pass one now, beg.
Okay. You have 5 minutes, alright? 5 minutes.
3 self I take. 3.
Bros, they join the game.
We don't have to get up there outside. Mo will not wait for you.
Can you listen? I don't want to hear anything from you. Do you understand? If I hear pim, I'm going to kill you right now. Here. Do you understand? I have to play by the rules. Now open it. Open it!
This is Chief Osando. Yes, late Chief Udenze's running mate, DPO, has stumbled on information suggesting that Miss Monica was...
Raymond, I am thinking. That bastard Monica must have known that we're behind Chief Udenze's death. She will expose us unless we get at her first and fix her up.
What on earth do we do, Chief?
Relax, Raymond. You are doing business with a politician and not a mere trader. Just relax.
Yeah, DPO, this is Chief Osando. Yes, late Chief Udenze's running mate, DPO, has stumbled on information suggesting that Miss Monica was responsible for his gruesome murder. I also had it on good authority that she is trying everything possible to frame up somebody unknown regarding the murder. Yes, I'll be coming over there with his general manager. Thanks, I'm on my way.
Let's go. Don't worry, we'll discuss that in the vehicle on our way to the police station. Come, time is up, yes.
Doctor, please. I need to speak with Tonia now. Please. It is very important. In fact, a matter of life and death to me. Please, doctor.
I'm sorry, my dear. You cannot see her. Not you, not anybody. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Why the desperation to see her?
Doctor, I know you.
Hello? DPO. How are you? Who? Monica. Yes, she's right here. Yeah, you want to talk to her? All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Why is the DPO asking after me, doctor?
He said he said that I should allow you to see her as you requested. Yes, is it that?
Thank you, doctor.
Now let me go and see Tonia and tell her that you want to see her. Right.
Gosh. I'd be so naive.
Right now, yes. Confirm that the girl will...
Yeah, that's it.
Let's just go.
Quick.
Dr. Oga, I must leave this place right now.
Now listen to me, Tonia. In spite of everything that's happened, your security here is not in doubt.
Ha!
Uncle Lawrence, I beg you, in the name of God, please, come and take me away from here. Thank you. Doctor, one more thing. I need a favor from you.
Anything, Tonia.
I need you to get me some mobile policemen to guard me.
Tonia, you have them here already. These officers are here for you. Pull yourself together, my dear. Pull yourself together.
Nega, you won't believe it. They swooped down on the hospital with armed policemen. 2 minutes after the doctor told them I was there. How the idea to exchange my clothes with that of a nurse I found hanging on the wall occurred to me. I still can't see.
Thank God you escaped the devils. Now I think I have to go to the police and tell them the truth.
That is not an option anymore. We are talking about men who murdered a frontline politician and stole his $13.5 million cash. Even without Chief Osando's connection, that money is enough to buy them public opinion against me. At least for now. Can't you see they're already doing that with the police? Or how else did I get the DPO to believe them so easily?
But the police have not publicly declared you a suspect or wanting for the crimes.
Because Chief Osando and Raymond don't want them to. Such publicity will not serve their interests. It is the content of this file that they are after. And then, they will kill me for good.
You must do something, Monica. I mean, you can't just sit down here hoping that events will turn to change their own advantage.
I know. But my only option now is to go to somewhere beyond their reach. Where? I don't even know for now. You see, this file is the only thing I have that can help me regain back my freedom and ensure justice in the murder of my boss. Nega, please, please. I'll need to pass the night here and some money to escape tomorrow. Please.
That won't be a problem at all, okay? But how long do you think you continue to run in a murder case on your head?
I know they will give anything to get me and this far. But I'm not going to give them that chance. I'll come back with a bang.
Lawrence.
Sure.
Tonia is still emotionally fragile. But I am letting her go with you because she has insisted. And any refusal from me will not do her any good. So, please make sure you are not far from her. She needs all the tender, loving care she can get right now.
Doctor, whatsoever that she needs from me, she will get. At least I owe that to the memory of our loving parents.
Tonia, I know what you are going through. But there is one thing you owe yourself and your parents, and that is to survive them. Survive this horror and fight for justice for them. Do you promise me you will? Good.
Tonia, you don't need to be afraid of Monica and her gang anymore. The police are seriously searching for them. And I'm sure in no time they will be apprehended. Okay?
And the officers attached to you will do everything in their power to protect you from them. And my wife and I will come and visit you from time to time.
It's alright, Doctor. We'll be on our way now.
All right. You're most welcome.
Have you been able to trace her? Listen, the police must not get her first. Kill her and recover the file. No, you have only hours. You don't have days to do that. Okay. Good luck. Good luck.
How much more can we trust those boys to fix this thing, Chief?
Raymond, I must confess, for the first time in my life, I don't know what to do. We cannot bribe all the security agencies and the press in this country. Besides, there are 1,001 places this bitch can go with the file and her stories. That is, if she hasn't done that already.
And the case we built against her is too fragile to stand against her revelation if she makes it. We have lost it, Chief. We have lost it.
Yes, we have lost it indeed. But what I will not accept is sitting down here and getting arrested and disgraced in this country. We must find a way out.
To where?
Anywhere is better than this place. Raymond, let us find a hiding place and from there we can leave this country. Huh?
God. How did I get myself into this mess in the first place?
Raymond, do not say or do anything that will make me see you as a liability unless you don't want to live any longer. Come and help me pack my things.
Doctor, please. You really have to help Tonia. I don't want another tragedy to befall my family. She's losing her mind because of what happened to her. She's dying slowly. Doctor, please, you have to come and help her.
It's all right. You know that your brother, her father, contributed immensely to who I am today. Yes. Oh, I was in the same predicament. I lost my parents and 2 siblings to a ghastly accident in one day. And to make it worse, it was my first year in the university. I was with your brother. I was in my first year in the university with your brother. Oh, he rallied around me, gave me a lot of support. He convinced me not to give up on hope. He talked your parents into seeing me through the university. Oh, the bond between these 2 families is so strong that it will be a sin if I do not react to this.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I've always known that you're a very gentle man. At least, you've never disappointed the memories of my late brother and the wife. Thank you, sir.
All right. You're welcome.
I'm sorry. I can't continue like this. No, I can't.
Wait. What are you doing?
Stay away from me! Don't come close to me.
Don't try it. Don't do it.
Don't come close to me.
Wait, Tonia.
Uncle, I'm sorry. My mind is made up.
Oh, wait. Tonia. So, you want to kill yourself? Yeah. Some people will understand and sympathize with you. But tell me, why such a cowardly act?
Don't tell me about cowardice and bravery. Because you have no idea what I've been battling with in my heart.
You know, I fought the same battle, many years ago, before you were born. I was even younger than you are now when I was fighting my own battle. I actually attempted this cowardly act. Your father told me about bravery and hope. But for him, I wouldn't be where I am today. You know that you have lost your parents. Oh God, it's painful. It's very, very painful. And we have been friends before you were born, so you can imagine, I'm feeling it too. But it cannot be as much as yours. You have to fight. You have to fight because your parents are looking down and they're watching you. You know, do you want them to see you kill yourself? Do you think they will be happy? Your father told me something, and I believed it. That anyone who kills himself or herself is an animal. Are you an animal, Tonia?
Doctor, why now? Why do you have to come now?
Your parents, they sent me to save you from yourself. My dear, would you let me?
Hello. Chief Osando, she told me how much you want to get her and the files. And 5 million naira don't sound to me like you really need them that badly. Remember, as I said, she's going public first thing in the morning. Yes. Evidence. What other evidence do you need other than calling with her phone? What I want, money, $2 million. I repeat, don't send your boys. Yes, come alone. I'm waiting.
She's sleeping in my room and the file is dead too. Please don't hurt me. I don't need the money again. You can keep it.
Oh, you don't need the money.
Where is the file, Monica?
The bastard escaped before I got to the room.
Again? But this time around, the girlfriend must know where she went to. Where is she?
That's the problem, Zubi. I shot at the bitch before I discovered Monica was not in the room.
Fuck! You shot the bitch? What are we going to tell Chief now? Eh?
Look, Zubi, all we need to do is look for something to tell Chief, get our balance, and then we disco. We move.
And get our balance. Is it possible? Without Monica and the file?
See, let's tell Chief that Monica died without telling us where the file is. In that case, we just tell him that he will collect our balance and then we move.
Cletus, this no be the way we take walk.
I know, Zubi. I know. But believe me, if we don't move like this, these people will use us to clean their mess. Things are getting out of hand. Do you want to spend your life behind bars? I don't want to. Move this car, let's go. Let's move. Chief.
Yes.
Even after killing her friend right before her, she still refused to tell us where the file is. We had no other option than to start bringing her to you. But on our way to the car, she went for Zubi's gun. And then there was a struggle. Some way, somehow, the trigger was pulled and then she got shot, Chief.
Serves her right. But don't tell me that you panicked and left the corpse at Nneka's house.
Of course not, Chief. We took her corpse to the jungle and buried it just like you instructed, Chief. Look at our shoes, Chief.
That bastard. Two of you, go up to your rooms and clean up. You'll be fully paid in the morning. Thanks for a job well done.
Thank you, Chief. Chief.
Chief.
Yes.
You call that a job well done without the files?
The boys did their best.
But their best did not give us the file.
Listen, Raymond. The power of the file to hurt us lies with the living Monica.
What if she has sent it to Tonia through the postal services? Or worst still, handed it over to a lawyer with a sworn affidavit implicating us in the murders?
In the first scenario, we have to monitor all the postal agencies to ensure that the file does not get to Tonia. In the second instance, the lawyer is likely to go public within 2 days of her disappearance. We pay the boys off tomorrow. We keep hiding. And if nothing happens within 2 weeks, I bet you we are free.
And if not?
Well, our escape plan still stands.
Good morning, my dear. Tonia.
Don't worry.
Tonia, is it not too early for those tears?
I just woke up.
Did you see your parents again today in your dreams?
It was so real.
It's okay. I brought you breakfast.
Thank you.
I am dashing out to somewhere. I'll see you when I come back during the day.
Okay, good luck.
Tonia. About those dreams, you can stop them if you want. And you must stop them if the pain you feel right now must stop. I know it's very difficult, but you have to try. Okay? See you much later, my dear. Tonia.
Okay, you're back.
You didn't eat your food.
No. I don't have appetite for food.
Dress up, I'm taking you out.
To where?
Dress up in 20 minutes time.
No, leave that. I'll take it.
You had all day to do that.
Uncle, I'm sorry.
Uncle, wait. Why did you bring me to an orphanage?
Tonia, how many children did you see in there?
I didn't count.
How many of them did you see crying or brooding?
None.
How many of them did you see playing and laughing?
Majority of them.
Good. Tonia, somewhere in the Bible, the Holy Book refers a lazy man to the ever-busy ant. Listen, most children you saw in there does not know their biological parents and will never know them again. Most of them in there will never have the kind of opportunity that your parents gave to you, be it academically or otherwise. I brought you to this place so you can learn. Did you learn? Good. Enter the car, let's go. Tonia, the food is ready. Come take your breakfast.
Uncle Lawrence, you didn't have to do this. I told you yesterday that henceforth allow me to do our cooking.
I'll let you do that when you're well enough to do it. For now, let me be your cook, your father, your uncle, your brother, your comforter.
My cook and my servant.
I am not complaining. Come on, eat your food. Get up. Get up. Take the tea jacket to the stove so I can get cold water. Take it easy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I didn't mean to put you through all this.
Why are you saying that? Listen, Tonia. Your late father was my only biological brother. He and your mom spared nothing in making me comfortable. I sent my family to Canada when I lost my job a few months ago to stay back in Nigeria and put things in order. Okay. I spoke to my wife. We've agreed that I'll have to stay back for as long as you want me to stay. At least to help you rebuild your life and your father's business. So I'm here for you all the way.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Come on, it's alright.
I'm going to call your wife and give her my appreciation.
It's alright. I'll be calling her in 20 minutes' time. Maybe then you'll talk to her. Okay.
Okay.
It's alright, it's okay.
These ones are the sublet agreement documents which stipulate that Chief Udenze gave me the contract at no cost as goodwill gesture. The signature experts did sign perfect match of Chief Udenze's signature
Or don't you think so?
Yes, it did. In other words, the contract is ours.
That is, if Tonia decides not to overturn her father's decision. By law, she could. Therefore, it is incumbent upon you to work on her, not to do so.
Chief, this contract means 500 million naira from me. I agreed to kill for it before. So what else can't I do to make sure everything remains the way we planned it, Chief?
Well, convince Tonia that the financial situation of the company is hopeless and get her to sell off completely and get out of our way for good.
Well, Chief, with the money her father borrowed to sponsor the contract staring in her face, to be an easy task.
Well, with the money we have now, we can conveniently and effectively execute the business.
Do we still have much after all we spent to checkmate Monica?
Raymond, enough, more than enough. The Julius Berger issue was a farce. The purported general manager acted according to my instruction and I paid him off in order to enable us get Chief Udense to bring the loan and bring the money closer to us.
What surprises me is how everything worked out for us so easily.
Not to celebrate yet. Still do your work on Tonia. Work on her. Remember, she's the only person standing between you and 500 million naira within a year.
Chief, as I talk to you, Tonia is as good as out of the way.
Well, that calls for celebration. My son, let's go in and pop some champagne.
Ooh la la! Ooh la la! I'm rich! We are rich!
Tonia, the bottom line is that the company was in a very bad shape financially before the unfortunate murder of your parents. There are a lot of urgent decisions to be taken to avert disaster, and you are the only person who can legally take them.
My father told me about the company's financial situation. I actually returned to the country to help him fix it. But you see, no one whose life is under threat like mine can take any meaningful business decision. So until Monica and her murderous boys are apprehended, I'm not going anywhere near my father's office. I'm not going to do any business work either.
Tonia, that company is your father's legacy and deserves...
Deserves what? To be saved? At the expense of my life? Mr. Raymond, my life is more important than that company. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I do, but...
There is no buts. This meeting is over, Mr. Raymond. Excuse me.
Thank you.
What does the test result say? Don't hide anything from me, no matter how bad the news is. Please.
Sit down. You have contracted. No STD.
Even HIV?
The retroviral test returned negative. Well, in 6 months' time, we have to do some confirmatory tests, just to be absolutely sure. Otherwise, we're fine. How do you feel?
Well, aside my parents' killer still at large and threatening my life, I'd say I'm alright. And the news you just gave me is an added boost.
That's good. Very good. I must congratulate you on the courage you displayed during the funeral rites of your parents. My wife and I are very, very impressed.
Thank you.
So, what are you going to do now?
I don't know. Until Monica and Cole are arrested, I have no idea what to do.
I understand.
Chief. Yes. There is nothing I have not done in the last 1 week to allay her fears for her life so that she could go back to business issues. But she wouldn't listen to me. In fact, yesterday, she barred me from ever coming to see her again with same issue, accusing me of insensitivity to her plight, just to save my job.
Save your job indeed. I wish the boys had killed her that night.
Mr. Chief, I wish we could do something to assure her of her safety once and for all.
Well, that could be done with a little help from the police. Time to call my friend, the DPO. We have to get over her once and for all. We have to finish with her and then mobilize to the side now that the weather is clement. Let me see you off to your car and then get the DPO online.
It's all right, Chief.
We've concluded all investigations into the murder of your parents and the missing money, and from our findings, we're certain that Miss Monica and 3 other notorious criminals are actually responsible for the death of your parents.
Detective Nancy, I have heard that several. And my question is, the culprits, have they been arrested?
No, ma.
Why, Detective? Why? Even with the government's promises that they would assist the police in any way they can to track these guys down. What's still happening?
The truth, Mr. Lawrence, is Miss Monica and her co-corporates are actually out of the country as we speak.
Huh?
What? The immigration services confirmed as much in their reply to our inquiries. Based on that, we feel very confident, Miss Tonia, to tell you to go about your businesses. There's no more threat to your life.
Thank you very much, Detective. Tonia, I know this piece of information is more of a blow than a relief to you. Yes. I know those that are responsible for what happened to you and your parents. They ought to be languishing in jail at this moment. But rather they are somewhere out of this country, enjoying your father's wealth. My brother's sweat. It's high time you went out and see what you can save from your father's legacy.
Thank Thank you, Uncle Lawrence. Thank you, Detective.
Mr. Raymond, I want you and all the managers to wait for me in my father's office tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. I'm taking over.
Detective, why do the police find it difficult to achieve anything they are giving to them?
We're working on it. We're trying our best.
Your best is not.
The cost of running a campaign cost him more than 80% of the company's operating capital. In fact, he was considering shutting down before the contract came.
So, how come on getting such a huge contract, he suddenly handed over everything to Chief Osando at no cost?
And also went ahead in using all that was left of his asset to secure a $13.5 million loan to execute the same contract?
I asked him about the rationale behind taking the loan, and he told me it was for some other business. What business? He didn't tell me. Up until I found this document in Monica's office after he was killed. I thought I had convinced him to drop the loan idea. That murderous bastard must have talked him into taking the loan in my absence, knowing fully well he was emotionally unstable then.
He may be emotionally unstable, as you say, Mr. Raymond, but my brother that I knew was never irrational when it comes to business decisions. I am not convinced. Tonia, we'll have to call in the EFCC for an inquiry into this.
Mr. Raymond.
Here, madam.
What do you think?
I think it will end up being a big disservice to your father's good public image. The more we delay cleaning up this mess for good, the more we get into more mess. Let's think about how to pay the bank as soon as possible and start the rebuilding process with whatever is remaining after that.
Nothing will be left, Mr. Raymond. The bank will take everything. They'll take the cars. They'll take our personal house. Oh God. Jesus, why is this happening now? Mr. Raymond, can you excuse me, go to your office? I need to think.
Right, madam.
Excuse me, Mr. Raymond. It's okay. It's all right. Thank you. Tonia. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Uncle, I want to talk to you.
Sit down.
Uncle, I've considered my options since we met with the bank manager and Mr. Raymond. Uncle, I owe my late father some honor. So, I've called the bank and asked them to liquidate his assets and recover their money.
You did what?
I'm selling off, Uncle. However inconvenient it is, it's still the most honorable gift to give my late father's memory. And I stand ready to face the consequences.
I'm sure there'll be grave consequences for your decisions, but I doubt if you'll be ready to face them, as you say. Excuse me. I've been thinking, ever since you told me that you sold everything you have to pay the bank 2 days ago. Your father went into partisan politics against my advice. And guess who the first casualty was? Me. I lost my job as a bank manager because your father's opponent owned the bank where I work. He promised to help me, but he never did.
Uncle, my father was in very bad shape financially after the election to have
helped his brother that he destroyed, right? Well, against my advice again, you have made yourself a complete destitute overnight. But the question now is, if I mean so little in you people's scheme of things, why should I help you carry your burdens?
I didn't mean to slight you by doing what I did. The fact remains that it was the best I could have done under the circumstance. Please understand that.
I understand. And that is why I did what I have done. I have sold everything I have in this country, including this house. I'm joining my family in Canada tonight.
No, Uncle. You can't do that. You can't do that. What becomes of me? Where do I go from here? I have nowhere else to go. I barely have enough money to feed well.
Yes. Come in. Welcome, my friend. Yeah, good morning, Mr. Rollins. Welcome. How are you? How are you doing, Tonia? This is the owner of the house, the new owner of the house, and this is his lawyer. Hi. I'm doing my packing inside.
Uncle Lawrence, are you serious?
Listen, don't embarrass me, okay? Don't embarrass me. It will not be pleasant if they throw you out, alright? I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Uncle Lawrence!
Okay. You can make yourself comfortable, I appreciate it.
God, in one fell swoop, my dream of having my son inherit Steve's multi-billion naira business empire through marriage has come crashing down so mercilessly. How do I allow Clinton to still go ahead and marry this destitute sitting before me? Such a liability. Such a nuisance. Such epitome of hopelessness.
Dr. All I just need is a place to stay for some time. I know with my degree and my father's goodwill, I'll still get a job and rebuild my world.
And that could be possible in the United States of America, but not here in this country.
You mean I should go back to America?
And forget you ever had anything to do with this side of the world. You see, even if your father had been the president of the country, when he died, all his goodwill will die with him. This is how shallow our memory and sense of gratitude could be. There's nothing left here for you except tears, pain, agony. Yeah. Is that how you intend to lead your life?
God forbid, Doctor. Wait. Doctor, I don't even have enough money to buy an air ticket and go back to America.
I know. I will buy you a ticket. And then I'll give you some pocket money that you'll spend while you're looking for work. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you, sir.
You're welcome. Now, go and get your things. Come and stay. Come home. My dear, I think that with everything that's happened, the only option for Tonia is for her to go back to the United States.
Return to the US?
Yes.
What happens to all her father's assets here?
Look, her mental health is more important than anything else. And if she wants to fully recover, then she must go back to the United States.
Honey, isn't it going to affect our plans with her late parents, concerning her and her son?
That could go on hold. As a matter of fact, I don't think it's a good idea after all.
Why? Because our parents are late?
No, because I noticed some things that I will not like to be associated with my son's life.
Sweetheart, isn't it better for us to wait till our son comes home to decide?
My dear, Clinton is not coming here or anywhere else to meet her. We are talking about someone who was raped by criminals.
That doesn't sound to me like it was her fault, or was it?
Good night.
Your father did not like the idea of you coming back home because of this. So I had to plan it for you to come back. Now that he's far away in Calabar attending his 1-week medical conference. At the moment, Tonia is with us.
Tonia?
Yes.
But why haven't I known all this while? I mean, I could have called her to express my condolences, ma. She's my childhood friend.
I know, I'm sorry. That was why I insisted that you should come home and help her regain her emotional control. Son, you really have to do this. And moreover, I didn't want to tell you because I was scared you were going to get distracted since you were taking your exams.
And how is she taking all this?
She's so depressed. So depressed. She doesn't eat anything. She doesn't talk to anyone. And because of the violent nightmares she's always having, she can't even sleep well at night. Clinton, you really need to help her. Help her bring back the smile, okay? So, how was your exam?
It was alright. It was okay. It was good.
Alright, you're welcome home, sir.
Tonia, it's me, Clinton. I understand. My mom told me everything on our way from the airport.
It's been difficult. It's been a terrible nightmare.
Then wake up from it. Put off your garb of sorrow and put on your gown of hope.
Who is going to make it for me?
Me. That is why I came back. Allow me to help you to regain your world. The world you thought you lost.
It's hard. Clinton, it's hard.
Tonia, I don't share that pessimism. Have you eaten?
No. I don't have appetite for food.
Are you happy I'm here? Then follow me downstairs. Follow me so we get something to eat.
Clinton! Food is ready. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hey, Tonia, I really wasn't
expecting me, ma?
Yes. Yes, that was why I had the table set for 2.
No, ma. I can't take your food. I'd rather have you dish mine.
But it's okay. Clinton, that's your food. Come and eat mine. It's okay. It's alright. Come and have mine. I'll go and dish another one for myself, okay? Okay. And I'll join you in a jiffy. Okay. Enjoy your meal. Okay.
Thank you.
Clinton, I should be the one thanking you. I was born into wealth, surrounded by love, laughter, and hope. I can't remember ever crying for anything. I can't remember anybody ever speaking to me in anger. I was adored by everybody, especially my parents. If there's anything like paradise on earth, my life was it. Until one wicked night, it was gone. Everything I held so dear to my heart was taken away from me, leaving me with tears and pains. Why? Why me, Clinton?
Why you? Tonia, there's no answer to this definite question. The only good you can do to yourself right now is to survive the tragedy.
How?
You can only deal with this by coming out of the past and facing the reality. Your hope and future is not gone. It is somewhere in the world. It is in the people that you know today and those who you know in the future.
There is no hope for me in the world. and its people. It's a wicked system, Clinton.
Am I wicked? And if you believe that there are people out there who are better than me, come and let's go meet them. Because they will put a smile back on your face, okay?
Hello, my dear.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, my dear.
Where is your car?
Oh, it decided to play up. So I said, mechanic, take it away.
Welcome. My
dear. How was it in my absence?
I miss you. I missed you so much.
I missed you very much.
Welcome, darling. Welcome.
Where is my jeep?
They went out with
Who?
it. Oh, here they come.
Is that not Clinton? Clinton? What is he doing in the country?
Honey, I'm so sorry I didn't tell you before I planned it. He came to console his would-be wife on her losses.
Yeah.
Welcome, sir.
I'm in the room.
Isn't he happy I used his car?
No. You know, he just came back. He's tired. I hope you had fun.
Yes, did.
Let me have the car keys.
I never wanted to discuss this thing again. But what has been happening in the last week has compelled me. Tell me, Agnes, what manner of wife do you dream for your son, our only child?
Huh? A wife who will love my son and make him happy for the rest of his life.
Tonia can never be that woman.
When did you discover this?
I'm sorry I didn't tell you before now. You know, the armed robbers who killed her parents made away with $13.5 million. $13.5 million. It was a loan he got from a bank, using his companies and properties as collateral. Now, Tonia, wanting to save her father's memory from disgrace, went to the bank and told the bank to sell everything, sell and recoup your money. That Tonia is nothing but a street destitute.
And in your opinion, a woman who met with such misfortune does not deserve the love and friendship of your son, right?
She will be a liability.
Why did it take you all these years to tell me you did not marry me because you loved me? But because my father was a multimillionaire?
No, you're getting it wrong. No, it is not like that at all.
Come, let me show you something. guess you think I was naive when I asked him to come back home. Sweetheart, look at them. What do you see?
Nothing. Excuse me. I have never had what I don't want, or failed to get whatever I want all my life. I have always gone for the best, and the best I always get. My son should be like me and nothing less. No, it is not her fault that her world collapsed like it did. But without her father's wealth, Tonia Udenze can never be my son's wife. I'm sorry if I disappoint you, Chief Udenze. My son, in fact, my family will not share the consequences of your mistakes with your daughter. Hello? Is this a cruise travel agency? I want a one-way ticket to the United States of America.
I would like to discuss something with you. I don't think Tonia going back to the US is such a good idea. I've been talking to her and I've been able to convince her to stay here and get a job. So would like to talk to you about it, so if you could help us with that.
Well, I think it's a very good idea. But I would like to talk to your father first. You know he's in a better position. Ah, here he comes. Hello, honey.
Hello, my dear.
Welcome, sir.
Tonia, here is your air ticket back to the United States.
What?
And you leave tonight.
Father, not when I've been able to convince her to stay and get a job.
You did what?
Yes, I was just talking to Mom about it, so that if she can talk to you and help us get a job.
That can only be possible if you have an alternative accommodation for her to move into, because her tenancy here expires tonight. And if she does not move out, I'll throw her into the streets by morning.
You can't do that.
And who the hell is going to stop me?
Me.
And me too. Come on, Frank. Tonia is not a slave we picked from the streets. No! She's the daughter of your childhood friend. A multi-billionaire. I think she deserves some respect, love and care.
It's okay. Clinton, it's fine. Doctor, thank you for the ticket. Excuse me.
Why are you going, Tonia?
Pack my things, Clinton.
Jesus! Now I'm just a nobody. An inconsequential slave of fate, walking on the world stage.
Just be fair to yourself, Tonia, okay? Just be fair.
Be fair? Life itself has not been fair to me. My certificates, my travel documents, everything that I have, gone. Just like that. Who am I now?
You're Tonia. You're Tonia Udenze. You are yourself, and that's the most important thing.
Tonia, I'm so sorry that all these things happened. I'm so ashamed that we couldn't really do much for you. I mean, we should have stood up more for you.
Stood up for who? Stood up for that misfortune on 2 feet?
How dare you, Father?
Now you shut up and sit down. She's been going around moaning, groaning about her lost passport, her lost document. What about me? I said, what about me? What about my new Jeep? Or was it not stolen along with them?
Whose fault was it that your Jeep was?
Yes. Whoever she comes in contact with meets with disaster. First, her parents. Now, it's us. Can't you see? Both of you. Can't you see?
Oh God! God! Tatonka. Me? Me? God. God. Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? Let go.
If anything should happen to her. If anything should happen to her.
That was not fair. Frank, that was very unfair.
Darling, it's 3 a.m. and you are still out here. You know, I don't think we are handling this the right way.
Tell me the right way to handle it.
Come, let's go to bed.
I should go to bed with you. Frank, where is our son?
He'll be back. He's only just hungry.
Indeed. What an understatement. Our son is out of this house. At this time of the night. In this heavy rain. Looking for a girl you drove out of this house.
I did not drive her out of the house.
It would have been better if you had only driven her out of this house. Without the poisonous words you used on her.
I was overwhelmed by the loss of my car, my new car. You know,
Mr. Car owner, I am not going anywhere until my son and Tonia come back safely to this house.
But you...
Good night.
Agnes.
What are you doing here?
I'm at home.
In a graveyard?
Clinton, the only property my parents left me in this world is this grave. And this grave is my home. So I'm at home now. Go back to your own home.
This is a graveyard, okay? It's a place for dead people, not for you.
For the dead? Am I alive now, Clinton? Am I? What are you doing?
I spent the whole of last night looking for you. I haven't gone home, I haven't slept. If you say this is your home, fine. I'll stay here with you.
I beg you in the name of God, go home!
And I also beg you in the name of God, let's go home.
My heart carry on, I'll rise again. Yeah, and I will never give up this fight. I'll rise again. Yeah, and I will never give up this fight. Though I cry and I cry, crying over you. Yes, I cry.
Clinton. You know, I am very impressed with the humane side of you which you exhibited to Tonia since you've been back. Don't you think it's high time you faced reality?
Father, if your idea of facing reality means abandoning a friend in need, then I don't share it.
Son, you are but a lad. And I am speaking from experience. This your insistence on wanting to be close to Tonia will hurt rather than help her. She is too devastated at the moment to know what she feels for herself, let alone you or anyone.
Father, I do not know what you mean by referring to her feelings. But all I know is that a friend who is devastated needs comfort, not rejection.
Son, your presence at the moment in her life is not comfort. It is disaster in the making for her.
How?
You can't marry her. You don't even love her.
Father, who's talking about marriage or love here?
What impression do you think you've been giving her since you got back?
Tell me, what do you really want?
I want you to go back to England and face your studies. I shall find her an apartment, furnish it, and she can get on with her life.
Without certificates, without even assets to rely on?
She will find a way of helping herself. Forget her.
Excuse me.
Clinton.
So how was the day?
My dear, it was hectic, but we thank God.
We thank God. Oh. We thank God.
Good evening. I've been meaning to ask why Tonia's travel documents haven't been retrieved so far from the US Embassy, so she could go to America and retrieve her school certificates.
Well, son, your father wouldn't hear of it.
Father, why?
Son, I've had a very hectic day at the hospital. I need some rest.
Father, were you lying to me when you said Tonia's father helped you to build and equip the hospital some few years ago?
It was not a gift. I paid back every single kobo that he spent on the project.
After how many years? And at what percentage interest? Come on, Frank. You can be more grateful than that. You owe Chief Udenze immensely. You owe Tonia.
I owe no one.
Father, you're really scaring me. You're not the father I used to know when I was a kid. What happened to your kindness? Where did it all go?
Now I want both of you to listen to me. Do you still want this family intact?
Meaning what exactly?
If Tonia does not live here by weekend, I shall file for a divorce.
You dare not.
Don't dare me.
How is she? Talk to me. Any complication?
She's pregnant.
What? Oh my God. Have you told her?
I didn't have the courage to tell her, knowing it's the result of that rape.
Very well then. Let's go and tell her.
She has to abort.
Of course. She won't have that baby. Let's go. How are you feeling, dear?
I'm fine, Mommy. Daddy, thank you for taking care of me.
That's all right. We like to have a chat with you.
I understand the crisis my presence is causing your family. and I accept whatever that...
No, it's not about my family. It's about you.
Me? Mommy, Daddy, am I going to die?
Tonia, you are pregnant.
No. 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 No.
Well, my wife and I, we have weighed all the options, and we have come to the conclusion that you will need an abortion.
An abortion? Mommy, you actually agreed to this?
Yes.
Yes, Tonia. I mean, think about it. Whose child are you carrying? I mean, think about it. Who is the father of the baby? A criminal? A murderer? A rapist? Tonia, how can you possibly carry the pregnancy and give birth to a child whose father killed your parents and raped you at the scene? Can you ever love that child like a mother should?
It will be difficult.
Not only difficult, it will be impossible.
Yes.
Look, if you are to rebuild your life, then you don't need such added stress. Look, I am a professional. You don't have to worry about me. Everything will be fine. My nurses, they're very good. They'll soon be here. They'll come and prepare you for it. So we'll leave you for a few minutes, my dear.
Mommy, Daddy. I don't want to have an abortion.
What?
If you have any regard for me as a human being, please respect my decision on this.
You want to keep the bastard, the child of a criminal.
Yes. I'm sorry. I told you, right? Clinton, do you support that I bought my baby?
Look, Tony, under the present circumstance, I think that's the best thing to do.
Because?
Being raped by the killers of your parents is bad enough. Getting pregnant as a result is a disaster. Do you want to prolong these pains by keeping the pregnancy? Do you even know whose baby it is?
My baby. Clinton, do you know what it feels like for one to suddenly find herself without her biological family? With nothing to call her own. At a month or so, that has been my lot recently.
So do you want to compound the horrible picture you just painted by keeping the baby?
No, Clinton. when I have this baby, he's going to look at me and smile. Both of us will share true love. That's all I've been craving for since the incident of that evil night. As ugly as it is, getting pregnant for the killers of my parents, it still has the potential of giving me my life and my smile back. And I'm not going to throw that potential away for anything. No, Clinton. I won't.
So what do you want me to do?
Please. Help me. Help me protect my child. And you've done everything for me. Would you do that for me? Please.
I'll try my best.
What did she say?
Well, she's sticking to her guns. Come to think of it, I find reason with that.
You what? Oh, did you come back to this country to ruin her or what?
Father, I'm only here to help her.
Well, you have helped her enough. This is time to go back to Oxford and face her studies.
Mother, I'm surprised you're saying this, but has it ever occurred to you that I might be in love with her?
No, you can never. You will never.
I'm in love with Tonia, Father. And I'll do everything to make sure that she keeps the smile on your face, which includes supporting her to keep the pregnancy if she wants to.
Clinton, have you slept with that girl?
Yes. Have you?
Mother, we are talking about love, okay? Not sex.
If the tone I detect in your voice is anything to go by, then sex will soon follow. That is, if it has not already. Come, Clinton. Has it occurred to you that the bastard who got that girl pregnant could have given her HIV?
Mother, how does that make loving Tonia a taboo, assuming you're right? If Father has convinced you to loathe Tonia as well because she exercised her right to determine the fate of her unborn pregnancy, then so be it. I'm going to rent an apartment and I'm going to move in with her. I'm going to look for a job to start earning a living, and I'm going to use that to take care of Tonia because I don't want her to lack anything as long as she's alive.
And what about your program at Oxford University?
That is my own call to make, Father. Excuse me.
Like I've always told you, son, love is sacred and must be treated as such. Like your father, I was furious when she refused to have an abortion. But after the discussion I had with you 3 days ago, I've had a change of mind. You know why? Because love is a factor and you are involved.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. What about Dad? Has he agreed to allow Tonia to continue to stay in the house?
And also keep her pregnancy if she wants.
Oh, thank you. I love you so much, Ma.
Oh, I love you more, son. One more thing. I was able to get your father's backing on the condition that you will go back to Europe to complete his studies.
But Ma,
Your father said it's not negotiable, and I think I agree with him.
Clinton, I'm scared.
I understand. But my parents are going to take very good care of you in my absence. I made them agree to the fact that they're going to take very good care of you before I go back to Oxford.
You threaten them?
Tonia, listen. My program is going to end in 7 months' time. After that, I'm going to come back and take very good care of you. I promise.
It's a mistake if you threaten them to get me to stay here. They'll hate me for it.
Tonia, look at me. I love you. Yes, I do. And I'm going to take very good care of you and the baby. If no one else is here for you, I am. Please, just make sure you get in touch with me on my phone, okay?
Come, my friend. Where are you coming back from?
I went to the church for prayers, Ma.
Indeed. You sure need those prayers now.
I don't understand, Ma.
You are getting out of my house this minute. So take your bag and walk.
But sir, you promised Clinton you're going to take care of me.
Look, that was to make him live your miserable life so that he can concentrate on his very promising one. Out.
Please, sir. I'll need some money to sustain myself till I can get a job and another home.
And where are you going to get it from? Come. Do we look like we're wearing Father Christmas's costume?
Oh.
Eh?
Please lend me the money. I'll pay you back with interest.
Young lady, you need a loan? You go to the bank. Oh, yes. That phone, you remember? I bought it after the car robbery. I want it back.
Ah, sir, please.
Do
you want to drag it with me?
No.
My friend, Mommy, please. Come on, give me the phone. Honey, take.
Please. I'm a woman like me, don't do it.
Get out. Get away.
Get out.
Ma, if I've done anything, I'm sorry.
Get out. Honey, wait. Get out. I said get out.
I'm very sorry.
I will be you. Get out.
I'm sorry.
I will beat you now. Will you get away from here? You want me to beat you?
No.
Come on, get away from here. Get out.
Please, I don't have anywhere to go. Sir, I don't have anywhere to go.
Out.
Get out.
Nonsense.
Chief, you are my father's most trusted friend. The contract he gave to you was enough to get him the pre-election financial position. But he chose to use it and help you get back on your feet first. That was my father. Always thinking about his friends before himself. Now, I'm the only one he has left in this world. Please, Chief, help me as if you're helping Chifu Denze.
Honestly speaking, Tonia, if you have 5,000 naira there with you,
You are richer than I am right now. Executing the contract you referred to has rendered me penniless. I wish I could help.
Chief, please. Chief, I beg you in the name of God, don't do this. I need help. Please.
Tonia, you want me to help you reclaim your lost travel documents and certificates. I don't have the money now. You want me to help you secure a job? I don't have the connections either. You want me to accommodate you in my house? I can't, because my wife traveled overseas and will be happy to meet you here on her return. I wish I could help.
Chief, please. Chief, I know you can help me if you want to help me. Please. Please, help me.
Yeah, Chief Security Officer, send 2 of your boys here to remove some nuisance in my office. Yes, right away.
Chief, you're throwing me out? You're throwing me out of your office? Into the streets to go and die?
Tonia, the boys are coming and they could be very mischievous. Don't blame me for any mischiefs. Better leave the office now.
Mr. Raymond, I know you'll be surprised that I'm coming to you of all people to ask for help. But the truth is, since yesterday, I've gone to virtually every relative, friends, and business associates of my late parents without getting any help. Please. You're my last hope. Please help me. Please.
Tonia, what you just told me about your condition is a devastating bad news to me. Not because I sympathize with you, but because it forecloses any prospect of getting the money you owe me back again.
I owe you?
When all your father's former employees said they were leaving their payoffs for you on sympathy grounds, did you hear such from me? Or don't you think 500,000 naira is too big an amount for an unemployed man like me to live for you?
Mr. Raymond, my father took you like a son, and he...
Cut it! If you're still here in the next 2 minutes, I'll arrest and detain you till you pay me my money. Hey, maybe you think you inherited only your father's assets without the liabilities. Is that what you think? Get out. Leave! Rubbish! Yeah. It's giving you what? You know how I survive? Get out! For nonsense.
days since Dr. Onka and his wife threw me out. I've gone everywhere. I've gone everywhere for help, to no avail. And the state governor refused to grant me audience. And now, it seems that you are part of the conspiracy to keep me miserable. I can't continue like this. Coming to join you. Coming to join you over there. Perhaps when I come, you will tell me. You will tell me what I've done to deserve all these calamities that have befallen me recently. Next morning after you left for the UK, I came back from church. I met your parents standing outside the house with my bag. They threw me out without even letting me into the house to drink water. As if there was a grand conspiracy. Everyone I had met in the last 10 days refused to help me. I sleep in the church at night. And then I beg for food on the streets like a common destitute. Last night, I decided to end it all.
You deliberately threw yourself into an oncoming car?
I had no choice, Clinton. Everybody wants me dead. And I'm better off dead.
I care about you. That is why I came back. I haven't heard from you for 9 days. I was trying to reach you on the phone. It wasn't going through.
The phone. Your father took it. He said it was his.
Let me apologize for my parents' actions. But let me tell you one thing. I am promising you my future so that you don't suffer like this again. How dare you? How
Clinton, what are you doing in this country?
I came to save the woman I love. The woman that you threw out to die.
Clinton, I hope you still remember that this girl Tonia was not born into this family.
Yes, but I love her very much. She's in the hospital.
Hospital?
She nearly committed suicide last night by throwing herself into an oncoming car. The same car that I was in, bringing me from the airport.
How is she?
Oh, you want to know? She's alive. But I need to get her some food.
Oh, hold on. My dear, why don't you get some food so that we all go together to the hospital? Sit down. We'll go together, please. Sit down. Son, the final phase of your program in Oxford starts this week. And you should be there, not here, and you know it.
Father, I'm not going anywhere till I get concrete assurance that this is Tonia's house and that she's going to find parents in both of you.
Well, that is the assurance that we have come to give both of you. Tonia, we are really very, very sorry for what happened the last time.
I'm sorry too for inconveniencing the people in your own home.
Oh, no, Tonia. You are not an inconvenience to us in any way. We know you need love and care, and that's exactly what you're going to get henceforth.
Oh, this is the telephone I took from you.
Thank you.
Son, you are going back to England tomorrow. And if at any time you fail to hear from her for 3 consecutive days, abandon your program and come back home.
My friend, get up from that bed. Get up!
Morning, ma.
6 a.m. you're still in bed. Do you think you were born into this family or married into this family? Listen, for your information, your continued stay in this house depends on how much work you do to earn it. You laze around here, you're out of my house. And in the street. Is that clear?
I'm sorry, ma. Is there anything you need me to do for you?
Today is Saturday. Everywhere in this house needs cleaning. So get up and get working.
Yes,
get up.
Yes, ma.
You're still lazing around.
Just this staircase and I'm done with them up in ma.
You're too lazy for my liking. My friend, mop this place and go and tidy up my husband's bedroom. What are you looking at? My friend, continue!
What are you doing in my room? I said, what are you doing in my room? You walking dead.
Daddy, Mommy asked me to come and clean your room.
Oh, Mommy asked you to come and clean your room. So you want me to leave the room for you so that you can ransack all my things and take my valuables? Isn't that what you want to do?
No, Daddy, I'm not a thief.
No.
I'm not a thief.
You talk when I talk. You do it again, I'll kill you. Now get out. I said get out.
For 1 full month, I have endured their taunts, insults, and humiliations. And it's now only a matter of time before they succeed in breaking me down completely. How do I tell Clinton about this without worsening his shaky relationship with his parents? And such would do me no good. Of course, telling him is out of the question. Maybe it's time to talk to them.
Tonia, you said you want to see us, that you want to talk to us. We are listening.
I have reflected on my situation in this country and concluded that my stay here is not doing me or anybody I've come in contact with since my parents were killed any good. So, last week, I wrote to the US Embassy in Nigeria asking them to restore my travel documents. Yesterday, they replied me. They said I should come with a court affidavit and sign some papers, and everything will be restored. But I'll need some money. I need some money to facilitate it so I can leave for America as soon as I get it.
So that you can wangle your way there and then paint my wife and I black before our son Clinton. So that you can manipulate him into eloping with you to the United States. No. No, I will not give you the opportunity to destroy my family.
Sir, I swear by the spirit of my late parents, that the moment I leave this country, neither you two nor Clinton will hear from me again.
And now you listen to me. Until my son completes his program successfully and comes back to Nigeria, you are going nowhere.
This conversation is over, Tonia.
To leave you. No, your parents have been wonderful to me. It's just that I'm no longer convinced that my stay in this country is doing me or my future any good.
Have you told my parents as much? Definitely you're going to need the money to get the affidavit for your trip to and from the embassy and for your journey back to the US.
I really don't want to bother them on anything again. They have their priorities, you know. Clinton, I don't know how this will sound to you, but can you please lend me the money? Please. Clinton.
How much are we talking about?
$2,000 will be okay. But if you don't have the money, we can...
I will send you $3,000 next week. Tonia, you don't just need money to get back to America. You equally need money to sustain yourself there, at least until you recover your certificate. Don't worry about me. My father sent me $7,000 last week. Perhaps it's time to get me a part-time job so I can really provide for you when you get to the US. You're sure gonna need all the help you can get over there.
Thank you. Clinton, thank you so much. My God will continually bless you and reward you.
Amen. I'll call you again when I send the money. Take care of yourself for me, please.
I will. I will. Yes. Yes.
How dare you idle away in my house?
I'm eating, Ma. Is there anything you need me to do for you?
Who gave you food in my house?
Ma, it's past 2 p.m. and I'm just having my breakfast after working since morning. Why? You slapped me!
And I will slap you again.
What's going on?
Doctor, she slapped me.
Tonto, you slapped me. Don't you think you deserve something worse than a slap every minute of your miserable life? dear, come and show me something.
Tidy this place up before I come down again.
Tonia! Ma? You're back, Ma. You're back, Ma. Welcome.
Where did you get these apples from?
I bought them, Ma.
You bought them? Where did you get the money you used in buying those apples? I'm asking you! Where? Ah, honey. Thank God you are here. Look at the apples she bought with whichever money. I don't know who gave her the money. Look at this. Can you remember 2 days ago when I told you I was looking for my 500 naira?
Yes, yes.
Honey, could it be that this thing has been stealing from us?
Ah, no, Mommy. I'm not a thief. I've not stolen anything in my life before.
So where did you get the money you used in buying these apples? You can't talk again, right?
I will call the DPO, and I'm sure he and his boys will be able to handle this better than us.
No, Daddy. Don't call the police, please.
Are you ready to confess now? We are all ears.
Clinton gave me the money. I swear it's the truth. He gave me the money. It's right there. I just changed $100 out of it.
You've changed $100. Clinton gave you $3,000? To do what?
To get my travel papers and travel back to the US. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I'm very sorry, Mommy. But I'm sorry, I should have told you. I'm sorry.
My son into party with such a huge sum from his pocket money for you.
Tonia, tell me, how did you bewitch him so easily?
I'm not a witch.
You are a witch. Yes. I tell you, you are a witch. Now you listen to me. No matter what you do, you will never be able to marry my son as long as I live. Take the money. Take the money. Let's go.
Come and eat apple. Idiot.
Now, you remember everything I told you. And what you have to say. I'm going to put us on speakers. Come on.
Hello, honey. How are you today?
Never been better.
You're really sounding so happy. Have you recovered your travel documents?
No, my dear. Your parents think it's not a good idea for me to go to America in my condition. And I think I agree with them. So I'll stay under their care till I deliver and win my baby. I hope you're not disappointed by my change of mind.
Do you really believe you'll be better off there in Nigeria?
My dear, the best I can give back to your parents for their kindness is to obey them. Besides, life in America as a single mother is anything but paradise on earth.
Okay, you can keep the money I sent you and see what it can buy for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please, take care of yourself for me.
I will. I love you, Tonia. Okay, bye.
Good. There will be no more telephone conversations with him alone, except either my wife, myself, or both of us are present. Is that clear? If you disobey me, Clinton will not come to see you. He will come to bury you. Let's go.
God, please. Deliver me from the hands of these people. Please.
What's this? Why is the heap of dirty clothes I asked you to wash in the morning still unwashed?
Ma, the washing machine is faulty.
Of course. You told me that in the morning. So, are your hands faulty too?
No, Ma. I've been having waist pain since morning.
Oh, really? Oh. Well, in the next 2 hours, if you fail to wash those clothes, hunger will cure you of that your waist pain.
Please, Ma. Let me wash it in the morning. Please.
Oh, you want to wash in the morning? It's okay, you can wash tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. But, do you want me to lock you up in this room? Would you want to sleep outside this house for 1 week? Good. If you don't take your lousy self to to that laundry room at the count of 5, you will not like what I'll do to you, like right now. 1, 2, 3. Waste pain indeed. You're something else. Oh, my son! I've been in love, man.
Welcome. Good to be back.
Oh, son. Oh, welcome. How are you?
Doctor?
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Mama, doctor?
Thank you, darling.
Where's Tonia?
She went to the market.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, here she comes.
What's the meaning of this?
She's just exercising. She needs it.
Exercising? She's in tattered clothes and she's carrying heavy loads in her late pregnancy. You're saying exercising?
She is not complaining.
Well, I'm sure you must have given her a good ear to complain. No.
Honey, please. Let's inside. Excuse us. Slippers are used in the kitchen.
Ma, be careful. The ground is slippery.
It's a lie. Are those the slippers that were in the kitchen?
Ma, I was mopping the floor and I nearly slipped, so...
Therefore, you had to wear my slippers with those your leprous legs. My friend, remove those slippers and give them to me. How dare you? Pick them up! What is this?
I'm sorry, ma.
Don't you ever touch them again. Get them up.
Come. Midwife. Yes, I was about to send for you.
Okay, doctor.
I want you to prepare Tonia for a cesarean operation.
Doctor, she won't need it. She has dilated enough, and I'm actually here to call you to assist her to deliver.
Midwife, I said prepare her for surgery.
Doctor, I'm very sorry. I can't do that. It is against the ethics of my profession. I'm sorry, doctor.
I'm sorry too. You're fired.
Jesus, fired?
Now get out. I said get out!
Okay, doctor. Okay, doctor.
Father, is everything alright? You kept on calling me. Is Tonia dead?
No.
And what about the baby?
Oh, all right, and kicking. She was delivered by CS.
But, Father... But she was dilating very well before you sent me out saying I wasn't in the right state of mind to be of help.
Well, she was not dilating enough afterwards. And she was losing strength.
Anyway, we just thank God she's alive and the baby is well.
And there was a bit of a complication. And in the process, we had to remove her womb. You are a doctor. You know that I will not do anything that is likely to compromise the lives of mother and child.
But Father, that's why I should have been there. I could have been of help. All this wouldn't have happened. I mean, she started a new life. This isn't good for her.
Clinton, she's taking it badly. That is why we called you.
Mom, you do not tell somebody something like this minutes after she's had a major surgery. This is unprofessional, Father, and you should know that. Do you guys hate her so much? Do you? Anyway, where is she?
She's in a private ward. It's all right. So I think it's over.
Stop it now.
Tonia.
Why? Why me? Why am I alive to see all this? Why didn't I just die in your operating room?
Because I need you. And God spared your life for me for a reason. With or without your womb, my love is still strong for you.
Don't patronize me, Clinton. Lying to me now will not help me. No African man loves a woman who cannot give him children, except out of ignorance.
I am an exceptional African man. Will you marry me?
You're crazy.
Yes, I'm crazy for you. And if you tell me you'll marry me, you'll make me the happiest man on earth.
Your parents won't approve of that.
Forget about my parents. This is just you and
How is she?
She's fine. She's fine. I gave her another reason to smile anyway.
Good.
Did you tell her you were going to help her take her back to the US?
Ah, something better than that. I asked her to marry me and she accepted.
You what?
Tonia and I are getting married.
day, Ma.
You said you wanted to see us.
I actually told you that we would like to see Tonia alone. Not both of you. Follow.
I don't really get you. I don't know exactly what you mean.
It means Tonia's stay in this house is over.
Father, you can't be serious.
No, wait. Clinton, wait. Doctor. Mommy, please, I beg you, for the sake of my innocent child, give me 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks and I'm gone for good. I'm not even strong enough to do anything for myself. Where do you want me to go? Please.
Is this Chief Odezi's house?
No, but...
This is my house. And I say that I don't want you in my house anymore. Or do you want me to call the police to kick you out?
It's okay. I'm going to pack my things.
I'm ashamed to be your child, both of you.
To my baby, Mommy loves you so much and went through hell protecting you while you were still in the womb. When you grow up, please don't call me wicked because I did this. The whole world gave me no choice. Please, the name of Chief Steve Udenze must not die in your hands. I have failed in many ways to preserve it. Please do better than Mommy in that regard. I wish you good luck all your life. Clinton, dear, I love you so much. I'm sorry I have to do this, but I have to go. Please be strong. Do not do anything that would harm you or your future while mourning me. My daughter is all I am leaving behind. Please take good care of her for me. Goodbye, everybody.
Commit my soul.
No.
Suicide?
This is more than I can take. You want to commit suicide in my house? My dear, help her bring her things. She is leaving this house today. Oh yes. He's leaving this house now.
Are you a human being or you're just plain evil?
That's what I am.
Good for you.
You slapped me. Good for you. And mom, you're standing there saying it's good for me?
Thank God your things are packed. Time to go. Thank you.
No, get up.
No, wait. We will go together.
What?
Yes. I didn't lie to her when I said I was in love with her and I want to spend the rest of my life with her. And you know I don't tell lies. I'm with her through thick or thin, for better or for worse.
Clinton.
Get out!
No, Clinton.
No! It's okay. Go on.
Clinton.
Let him go.
Oh.
It's alright. It's alright. He will come back. He will come back. He has to come back. He will come back.
So, I hope the baby's asleep.
Yeah, she's asleep. I'm making sure she doesn't wake soon. I'm tired. Who's that?
The usual people.
Honey, it's over a month since we left your parents' house and came to Benin City. And since then, your parents have done everything possible just to hear your voice. To no avail. If they call again, please talk to them.
No, I can't.
For goodness sake, this can't go on forever. Clinton, they're your biological parents, and they're worried about you.
Really? Since when did they start worrying about me? They can go to hell for all I care. If they want me back, they should be able to accept you as my wife.
Honey, you know that's not possible. It'll be very difficult. You are their only child, and they need grandchildren. I can't give them that because there's no womb in here again. I need you to help my daughter and I get back to the US so you can go back to them.
That is not an option. I love you very much. And that's all that matters. Can't you just understand? Okay, fine. I'll go back. We will go back. But only on one condition. That you get married to me first. Do you agree? We'll go and see the Reverend Father tomorrow morning. Let's go to bed.
Is he coming?
He's a bit busy, but he's sending somebody over. His catechist.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I wasted your time.
No!
So, what happened? I don't know. Thank you very much.
Tonia. Who are you and how did you get into my bedroom?
I am Monica, your late father's accountant.
Oh, no, please, don't hurt me. Somebody help me.
Please pull yourself together, Tonia. Listen to me. I didn't come here to hurt you.
Monica, what do you want from me? Haven't you done enough damage to my life?
I came to help you get justice.
Well, murderers don't talk about justice. They face the hangman and you will face him.
So be it. But listen to me first. Hours before your father was killed, he gave me this file to study and prepare to brief you on your return with a definite instruction never to give it to any other person but you, no matter what happened. I guess he has premonition of his death, but I wasn't sure of that.
You lied to me. You lied to me, aren't you?
Suit yourself. The content of those files probably got your father killed, and the desperation of his killers to get hold of this file and silence me for good was what drove me underground. I did not come to kill you in the hospital as they must have told you. I came to give you this file. Tonia, I've been a fugitive for 11 long months to preserve it for you. Now, if you want justice for your parents, this is your weapon. Excuse me.
Wait! Are you telling me the truth?
If I had killed your parents, Tonia, my mission here, if it would still be necessary, would be to kill you and not just to give you a business file.
You met me here crying because just a few moments ago I saw the very fellow that shot my parents and raped me.
What? Did you recognize you?
I doubt if he did. I don't know.
It's okay, Tonia. Please, can you listen to me? The battle for justice for your parents has just started in earnest, and I'm staying back to fight it with you.
Hello, Chief.
Detective Nancy, what a surprise.
I know you were not expecting me,
I wasn't at all.
but I'm here to effect your arrest for multiple homicide and armed robbery.
What? You are playing with fire, young lady. Just get out of this office!
Not just than prepping officers of the law, Chief Osando.
What? Monica!
Yes, Chief. Flesh and blood. It's the end of the road for you. Justice has won.
You have nothing against me, have you? Detective, she's a liar. She killed Chief and Mrs. Udenze and her friend Nneka. She even stole Raymond.
Tell this Abe is the end of the road.
What is happening here?
The boys are in police custody, Chief.
The State High Court has sentenced Chief Osando, Mr. Raymond, Mr. Cletus, and Mr. Zubis to death by hanging following their guilty pleas to the brutal murders of Chief Steve Udenze, his wife, driver, and Miss Nneka last year. Also following the startling confessions made by the culprits, the court has ordered the state government to make payments in respect of some recently executed contracts in the state to the only surviving child of Chief Steve Udenze, Miss Tonia Udenze. Immediately after judgment was delivered, the State Attorney General said the government will comply with it without delay. To this end, he said the government will immediately invite Miss Tonia Udenze to raise an invoice for the contract fee, which stands at over 3 billion naira. Reporting from the State High Court Complex, I am Amanda Phillips.
Oh God. Oh God, forgive me. Oh my wickedness, selfish, arrogance. Oh Lord, forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me.
Yeah, I'm ready.
What are the both of you doing here?
We are here to make your joy complete. On this, by the grace of God, the happiest day of your life.
The both of us have happiness. We don't need joy from you.
We are not here as uninvited guests. We have a confession to make.
Well, I'm sorry, this is not the time for it. Today's my wedding day, and I'm running late.
Clinton, there is no other better time than now to confess to Tonia that we lied about our womb. We did that just to discourage you from getting married to her. Tonia, your womb is intact.
Huh. Square